Have you ever seen those special TV shows or movies? You know the ones that are so wonderfully, unintentionally bad, but they bring you so much joy and captivate you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, we here at B-Watch Rewatch absolutely live for these underdog gems.
So buckle up, Busters, and please allow us,
Colin
and Cadence, a sibling duo who share a passion for such cinematic excellence, to take you on a wild ride through all the TV shows and movie plots you never knew you needed to hear.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi, everybody. That was the perviest hi you've ever done.
Hey, everybody.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. How's it going? Are you guys loving these movies that we're doing? These are the best. I'm loving
They're
rewatching
so
them,
good.
experiencing them. I loved Snow Beast. And also, I do want to apologize. The audio for Snow Beast, my audio in particular, was kind of off. So I apologize for that. Apologies
You
for
weren't
that
in a
audio.
tin can for that?
Just recording in a little tin, little coffee can.
This is the only place I could be alone.
So we've started with sand sharks, we've done snow beasts, and now we've got something. Ooh, it's another animal that, well, this one is actually, it used to be real.
This
I'm
is
not
more
saying
of a
that sand
Jurassic
sharks are
Park
never
situation.
real.
I
Sand
know.
sharks
Are
never
you
real.
saying
I'm also
that
not
Sandy
saying-
Powers is wrong?
And I'm not saying that snow beasts couldn't possibly be real. But today, we are bringing you 2002's Sabertooth. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum,
We're really
bum.
busting out the creature flicks, the B-movie creature flicks. I love it.
These are, well, like, we're just going to emphasize again that these are like, we're coming back to our roots with these.
That's true.
The movies
This is
that
true.
really brought us together.
They really are. They're OGB movies. And I would like to say that we're 3 for 3 on Creature Cam because this one in the first 5 seconds
Yep.
of Creature Cam has CC.
I knew it was going to be good.
I mean, any movie called Sabertooth is going to be good. With a Sabertooth tiger, sign me
That's
up.
a guarantee.
Sign me up. You don't see enough Sabertooth tiger movies these days. That's all I got to say. Okay. So without much ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, so movie Sabertooth, 2002. Really good movie, okay? I'm just going to make this real easy for you and do a real quick plot overview summary. A saber-toothed tiger, which has been genetically modified, obviously, because there's no saber-toothed tigers anymore. And we'll get to that questioning later, okay? But this saber-toothed tiger that has been genetically altered has basically escaped from its crazy science lab and is now in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And there are several different groups of people that are affected by this. And they have to figure out what the hell's going on and try to catch this thing, you know? That's all. That's basically the gist of this movie.
Yep, it's pretty simple plot. It's pretty straightforward. The real genius of this movie is in its subtle nuance and all the little moments of artistic
I feel like it's more like
wonderfulness.
this isn't so much about the saber tooth; it's about the interactions of the different people involved. And I feel like the
I
development and
completely
growth of
agree.
the characters.
Yeah, it's the Sabertooth is just facilitating the human interactions and how we see humans act in tragedy and stressful situations.
Yeah, it's more like a really indie art pick, if you ask me. Exactly.
You're right. I'm doing like an umbrella overview, but that does not do it justice because there's so much more involved.
And the saber tooths of our words. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
The sharpness of the words we speak
of the
to
words
each other.
we speak to each other are similar to the saber of a saber-toothed tiger. Yeah, so that's a basic summary. And then Cadence is going to introduce... Actually, we're going to start the movie and we'll introduce the characters as they come along. We're just going to give you the gist of the beginning of the movie. We open up with Frontier Science Lab's Frontier Lab Science. And it is a very generic science lab, mad scientist lab, probably on an island somewhere.
It looks like my high school science lab. Honestly, that's what it looks like.
Kind
Same
of does,
decor,
huh?
same coloring.
Well, they just rented it out from Sandy Powers. They're like, hey, can we take over your shark facility?
Remember you at that little corner of the dressing room at the pool?
Can we do that?
Can we?
So again, and this is a B movie trope that we've again mentioned in our What Makes a Badass B movie, is it's always some kind of secret science lab on some kind of island that's doing
Always,
something. Right?
yeah.
And the doctors are just closing up. Everything's been a rough day, cloning those Sabertooths. And a janitor is mopping up a room. And
Well, my favorite thing is this janitor is cleaning a window with a completely dry squeegee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. First, I thought it was a mop. So he's just there after hours. All the doctors have gone home. It's been a long day.
Right.
And he drops a little can of something and it rolls by the wall. And out of the corner of the wall, you see this bizarre cage thing.
Open up?
It's like a cage in the wall. I don't know.
Yeah, so visualize, if you will, a wall made with cinder blocks.
Mhm.
Now imagine on the bottom 2.5 feet by like 2 feet wide.
Mhm.
There's a little cage with like a steel door on it. And then all of a sudden that steel door slides open mysteriously. No one quite knows who bumped the switch in
I think
the facility.
can. Maybe the can that rolled down bumped it, but that's poor.
Maybe it did.
It's poor
That's poor
security at that
security, though.
Got a fucking Sabertooth locked in there in the corner, little
It's a
baby's corner of the
very
wall.
touchy- a very touchy button. Yes, it's visually odd. It doesn't make any sense why
Any
you think
sense at
you'd
all.
be having
Like,
a
why would you keep your
or whatever.
Sabertooth in the dark corner? There's no windows and no ventilation. It almost looks like a vent, like an air vent, like the side of an air
It
vent.
totally does. Maybe, okay, this is me just hoping that the environment for the Sabertooth is better than we're seeing. Maybe in like a zoo, you know how there's like a back entrance into the habitat? Maybe that's it. And
It's
so
the
really on
secret
the
back
other
entrance.
side of that, the Sabertooth is living the best Sabertooth life.
I would like to think that too, but probably not. Regardless, it opens and the janitor's like, oh, well, this is this odd looking contraption on the side of the wall. And then we get creature cam. And similar to Snow Beast, the Sabertooth can only see in shades of bright yellow, fuzzy bright yellow.
Right. I mean, that's a scientific fact.
I think that would be very difficult to hunt things if everything was like the bright shade of yellow. But needless to say, this janitor gets fucked up.
But right at this moment, because it's in the opening scenes, we don't know what fucks it up. And the janitor definitely doesn't know what's fucking it up. It's just a mysterious, bloody death.
You know what? Well, yeah, he goes and he runs and he slams against the window. And then it's like, the reverse and blood's everywhere. And it's just like, why can't anybody just open a damn door? The security obviously is not too good in there. You could have just opened
Nothing in that
door.
facility is good. There's no locks on anything. It's just free willy-nilly, everybody.
And even
Go
though the
for it.
name of the movie is Sabertooth, we're just not sure if that's a Sabertooth that killed him. It could be anything at this point.
Right, because it came out of the tiniest little hole in the wall. So
Like, how did it even fit in that? Anyway, all right. R.I.P. Jan. You did a good job. You died doing your job, and we're proud of you.
you died in service.
You died in service. We cut to our first group of people in the Sierra Nevadas.
All right, so we've got a group of youths, they're supposed to be in the wilderness, and there's
Casey Ballinger. Welcome to Sierra Summer. I'll be your guide this week.
and Trent.
Trent. Who's that? That's your fearless leader on this trip. The Ice Queen.
Who are the leaders of the group. Then we have, joining the group, Leon,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, man. Come on, let me try.
That takes years of practice, Leon. No way.
Come on, Trent.
Lola,
Lola Rodriguez. It's nice to meet you, Lola. You serious about the bears?
and Jason.
Hi, I'm looking for Casey Ballinger.
You must be Jason.
How'd you know?
You're the only one who's not here.
Now, the dynamics of this group are a little confusing.
They don't make any damn sense. I watched the movie twice. Could not figure out. At first, I thought they were teens that were like going on a retreat in the Sierra Nevadas, and the two
Right.
adults were the ones taking them. That's what I thought.
Right. Then, if you listen to the dialogue, basically what you gather is that Casey and Trent are like the two elder statesmen of the group. They are the trainers. Now, they are taking the other three as trainees to teach them how to become leaders like themselves. Now, what happens when you become a leader, like Trent and Casey, is that, as it is explained in the dialogue, you will then lead underprivileged children into the woods for 2 weeks at a
peeps.
time.
Yeah, it's really weird. I thought they were the underprivileged teens Because there's definitely an age gap, you guys. I mean, they do that
Yeah.
visually with the oldest
Like you're
woman and
thinking
man.
like maybe early 20s and then everyone else is in their like late teens, roughly.
Yeah. My favorite thing is the trainees get off the bus from wherever they're going and they go straight into hiking. They do not even take a break. They just
I can't even
introduce
tell
each
you
other
how
and then they go straight into the mountains.
it's so nuts to me because they get off. None of these kids, Kate, have experience. And then when they say like, oh yeah, your job is to be trained so that you can take underprivileged kids into the woods. But then when they ask each kid why they're there, they're like, oh, my mom made me do this. And I'm like, nothing. Like, so you don't even want to be here. You
Nothing
don't
about it
want to
makes
learn
sense.
these skills. You have no experience. And then you're going to be in charge of taking other children into the wilderness for 2 weeks at a time? That feels unrealistic.
I just feel like that is not a good
Yes, like it's not a good start at all.
start.
And
Literally,
they
because
have,
these are the
like,
three derpiest
short
kids. Like,
shorts.
yeah, one's this total derpy, nerdy guy with the he's got the, what do you call it? Inhaler because he can't breathe in the mountains. You know, he's got glasses. Lola is sassy. She's got stripes in her hair. She's not dressed for a wilderness hike. And my favorite thing is when you meet Lola's character, she gets her backpack out of the car and her backpack falls and it's all just candy. It's a bunch of fucking candy. I'm like, Lola, do you know anything about what's going on? Did they prep you at all for this?
The things that come out of these bags, okay, because first of all, they're the tiniest, babiest backpacks. They are going into the Sierra Nevadas for an extended period of time. They have the tiniest backpacks.
Little
and then the
Jansports.
things,
Little
the
tiny
things that come
little
out of
Jansports.
these backpacks as the camping trip goes on. You're like, these are Mary Poppins bags. First of all, no one knew what to bring. Second of all, they're magic bags because they are carrying the most bizarre and impractical stuff in their tiny little baby backpacks.
Yeah, whoever planned this just did not do a very good job of figuring
Okay,
out.
Casey and Trent, we're looking at you guys.
Yeah,
You're the
Casey and
leaders.
Trent. It looks like you didn't give very many directives to what to pack for this long hike.
Let me just also say, I don't know, unless you watch Lost, this is going to mean nothing to you, but Trent is played by Josh Holloway, who is Sawyer on Lost.
He looked familiar to me,
So-
actually, but I didn't watch Lost because
Just
I would have been
throwing
lost
that
the
out
whole
there.
time. But
Oh,
I'm
you
not.
would have.
Oh, I would
been.
not have known what was going on at all. Never.
Your brain would have imploded.
I have a hard enough time with Downton Abbey, okay? And that's the slowest movie. Okay, so anyway, we meet this group of people. There's 5 of them, and they are going to, again, as soon as they get out of their cars, it's just like, let's go. We're going in the mountains.
Oh, you know what? I do have to set one thing up because Jason, the nerd, his number one and only question before going into the woods for an extended period of time is, can you tell me more about the facilities? And they're like, what do you mean? And he's like, where I can go to the bathroom, like I'm going to need to poop. And they're like, yeah, it's the woods. Like you're going to need to dig a hole and poop
where
wherever.
did they pick these kids? That's why I thought these were the underprivileged
Right.
kids. Like, where did they pick
Yes.
them?
Yes.
What is going on? Like, you think they would have gotten some kind of email saying, like, hey, bring not a bag full of fucking candy and bring toilet paper because we're going to be
Whatever
in the
you do,
woods.
don't bring a bag of candy.
It just feels like they are wildly unprepared for this. They are pure Sabertooth bait. Ugh, it's
And they're
annoying.
completely underdressed. Like they're in the Sierra Nevadas again. And they're not wearing hiking boots. They're wearing
Nope.
tiny little short shorts. They're wearing crop tops. Like there's no sunscreen, not a hat in sight. Nothing. Nothing.
I'm
Nothing.
gonna write a strongly worded letter to whoever organized this. I do not want my kids going out for 2 weeks with these dingbats.
Yeah, and they've all, like we just said, all the kids who are like the trainees, they're all bitching because they've been forced to do this by their parents. And so it's like they don't even want to be taking underprivileged. They don't even want to learn how to do this. It's
They're being-
just
Okay, we digress.
Okay.
So we meet them, and like we said, as soon as all of them meet each other, they just instantly go into the woods with their tiny little Jansport backpacks.
Oh, wait, you know
And-
what? There's one other important fact. Trent and Casey, the two leaders of the group, they have a history. It becomes very clear very quickly that they have been
yeah, of
romantically
course.
linked in the
Casey's
past.
so
and there's a
beautiful.
little
She's
bit
hot.
of tenseness.
Casey's hot. She's got that like pure 90s bundled up Pam Anderson hair. Love it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Josh Holloway with his little spiky early 2000s frosted tip situation. Yeah, they definitely had a romance and it's a little bit of sexual tension. So just putting that out there.
All right, so now that those dingbats have all gone deep into the woods with their backpacks,
They're dead in the first 10
they're
minutes.
dead. Like, I don't even think a Sabertooth needs to get them at this point. Like, literally anything could kill them. We cut back to all these truck drivers where we meet this driver. Let's just call him Joe. It's not even worth giving him a name. He is transporting what has escaped from the tiny little corner of the room. Well, that's the idea that we get because it's like a total Jurassic Park situation, like the caged thing in the back.
He's driving a giant steel cage.
Yeah, but you can tell that he is unaware of what he is driving because he is just like, yeah, boys, I got it. I'm getting paid a lot to transport this mysterious thing.
And
So he's driving
like,
at
I don't
night.
ask questions. I just get paid and I just take it from A to B.
Exactly. I don't need to know what I'm transporting. I don't need to ask any questions. Just show up at the facility at the secret Frontier Science Labs, Frontier, and get whatever they put in there, even though it's huge and making a lot of noise.
He's
Just take
map
it.
quested those directions. He's got a stack of MapQuest
Don't need to know?
directions. He's following them. Just needs to get to the end point.
I just need a little bit of
Okay.
Diet Coke to get me going, and I'm there. So he's driving at night with the creature in the back that we still don't know what it is.
Right.
And he gets a little too sleepy, and he rears off the road and crashes. And guess who gets out? That sassy little saber.
Sabertooth. So, but he's also, let's just say, clarify, he falls asleep while driving through the Sierra Nevadas. So
The
now,
worst place to fall asleep, Buster. The worst place. How do you
he
even make
somehow
that?
survives his truck rolling off the side of the cliff, and he gets out and he's like, shit, where is my load? Because I don't know what I'm taking, but whatever it is not in here anymore. And of course, immediately dies.
Sabertooth gets him real hard. But you know what? It's like, pull over. Number one, tiredness kills. And the Sierra
Take a
Nevada,
break.
it's just not good place to fall asleep. Yeah, the Sabertooth gets out. It kills him real quick. It kind of is reminiscent of Snow Beast. It kind of gives him like...
I was thinking the same thing. It's that very quick, like, I'm going to smack you inside the car.
And of course, he can't get back into his cab of his truck, of course.
No, you never can.
You
and
never
also,
can.
it slices through the side of its steel cage, and I'm like, so that was never going to hold it to begin with.
You're totally right. It bites through it with its saber tooth. So now we're getting a hinkling of what this creature is, regardless of the name of the movie. But you're right. It totally just bites the cage. So like, what stopped it in the beginning? It doesn't make any sense. Poor guy. So this is death 2. Now we're at death 2. This is getting real.
Already within like the first 10 minutes.
And again, just like Snow Beast, we don't really know why the Sabertooth is wanting to kill so many people. Just out
I mean,
for
it
blood.
was lost in a cinder block room in the dark, so I would be pretty pissed about that.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, poor guy. R.I.P. truck driver. So while this guy's being eaten apart by that Sabertooth, meanwhile, we are met with 3 new characters in a cabin. I'm guessing it's the Sierra Nevadas. I'm going to guess they're in the Sierra Nevadas as well.
It doesn't at all. I mean, I don't know why at this point I expect any sort of explanation from any part of this movie, but it doesn't explain to us why we're in this cabin, and it doesn't explain to us why we're watching like a VHS tape on the TV in the cabin, but we are. So we have Anthony, who is the rich funder of everything that's happening. Let me just say, this blew my mind, you guys. It's played by John Rhys Davies. If you don't know who that is, he's Indiana Jones's friend in the Indiana Jones movie, and he is Gimli the dwarf in the Lord of the Rings movies. He's a massive
you stop
movie
it.
star.
That is not
He's a
him.
massive movie star.
What are you doing in Sabertooth, Buster?
I do not get it.
What
I do not
are
get
you
it.
Wait, is it the new Indiana Jones movies? Because this was made in 2002, so maybe this was his like jump into the career.
Well, because Lord of the Rings had already been made. It was starting in year 2000. That's when they started filming it.
Man, that is a leap. Good for him. Good for him, Buster. You go from Sabertooth to Lord of the Rings to Indiana Jones. Nice.
He's all over the place. He's funding the research. And then we have Catherine.
And I would just like to say that because he's funding the research, he is a sweaty ball of mess, you guys.
Always.
He's just shaking and sweaty, always mumbling. And I get it because he's funding this whole thing. And it's a lot of money to maybe genetically modify a Sabertooth. We still don't know the answer, but maybe we can get some clarification with this cabin.
We start out on the road of like, okay, yeah, it's going to clarify some stuff, but I have bad news for you guys. It just gets murkier.
It doesn't. We're waiting to understand where the Sabertooth came from, why the Sabertooth. But in this conversation, we learn.
Because let me just say, Catherine's the scientist, okay? So she starts talking and you're like, okay, yeah, the scientist is definitely going to get us up to speed. but go ahead.
No, she doesn't. I was waiting for you. She does not get us up to speed. She says something like, of course, pure science talk. And this goes above our head because we're not scientists, but it's something along the lines of the genome growth hormone has worked.
The accelerated cellular growth hormone works.
And with a cloned animal.
That's right. Next, we start cloning and growing human organs. Imagine when you need a new heart, you go buy one.
And we're like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but again, what the fuck does this have to do with the Sabertooth? Like, we're still in that spot. And the sweaty guy, what's his name?
Anthony,
he's just like, well, I'm funding this project, and what will happen? And she's just like, it'll save lives. We'll get medals from the president, bro. Just chill. We're going to make all kinds of different body organs, and and Cadence and I are like, okay, but again, where does the Sabertooth come into all of this? And you guys, it never explains it.
they're talking literally about how they are going to save the world by cloning organs for people who need organ transplants, which is awesome. Great. Do that. Catherine, awesome. Why is cloning an extinct Sabertooth the first step in that process?
Like, you would think, like, start with mice, maybe pigs. No, you
Start with an organ.
Start with just one organ. Well, where did the Sabertooth?
To be a whole animal.
An extinct animal. She is ambitious, you know. She's British and ambitious, and she does not have time to fuck around with just making one organ at a time. She's got to clone an extinct animal and then have the genome project work on it. We're dying the whole time.
Have the genome project work on it. Okay, now work. Okay, genome project, now go. Do it.
We're going to save a bunch of lives. We're going to get, and she literally is like, she's mostly, she says they're doing it to save lives, but it's also clearly for the money, because the whole time Anthony's just like, the money, I've funded billions into this.
She's he's a rich guy, so he has to be obsessed with the money.
Always. And she's just like, again, yo, presidents, medals, we're going to be showered with fame. And no one's going to ask how the fuck we got a Sabertooth cloned. No one's going to ask.
No one's going to be even kind of concerned that Sabertooths are going to somehow escape and breed in the wild, and the entire human species will be hunted by Sabertooth.
Remember how
no one's going to be worried about that.
People are going to trace it back, and they're going to find out that you did it with a Sabertooth, and they're not going to be so
if
happy.
If it was that big of a deal and it was a sheep.
If it was that big of a deal, the sheep, you think the president's going to give you a medal for cloning a Sabertooth?
He's like, good job, Catherine.
Creative approach. You get an award for creativeness, because that is
you get an A for effort, Catherine. Good job. I mean, you went outside the box, and I appreciate that.
Like, I'm still wondering where she got the DNA to clone it. Was it cloned in Science Frontier, Science Labs of Frontier? Or was it cloned outside? Did they find it in the wilderness and bring it to Science Labs, Frontier Labs Science?
I don't think they found a Sabertooth in the wilderness.
At this point.
Although
At this point, you never know. The point is that they never, ever clarify as to why the Sabertooth has anything to do with this organ cloning.
Donation process.
It's bizarre. It's so hilarious.
And then at the very last second, we meet another character that's part of their little group, and her name is Kara. She is the research assistant.
And she's just that nerdy.
The nerdiest.
She's got the glasses on and the ponytail, and she's like, you guys, we got to get out there and get to work, cracking on the cloning. Oh, all right.
Oh, Kara.
Let's cut to our next adventure. All right, so we're assuming it's somewhere down the road on the same night in a different cabin in the Sierra Nevadas.
There's lots of cabins.
Lots of cabins. And we heard two people going at it. Generic sex noises, right? And we meet a couple. And we're not even going to give them names because it's not worth it. But I will say that they finish their sexual intercourse. And they do what I like to do when I finish sexual intercourse, and both put on baseball hats and just caress each other's baseball hats for a while.
Baseball hats are not a metaphor, by the way. They are
they really wearing baseball hats. Like fully nude under the covers, like they're post-coitus. They both got their baseball hats, and I'm like, is it sunny out there? You rooting for your favorite team?
It's literally the middle of the night, but they're taking a break between coitus sessions because they just finished. They're getting ready to go again. She's like, wait for me here. I gotta go do something
I gotta
real
go
quick.
wash this hat.
I'll be right back.
I gotta go get a different hat.
For round 2, I gotta wear a different hat.
I know, she's like, I cannot wear the same hat. And she's this beautiful blonde girl, and she's wearing his oversized tee.
Right.
She's super cutesy. And she decides, like, intermission, that she's gonna go find her cat.
Right.
And my favorite part about this woman is she's like, I'll be right back. And then she decides to go find her cat in the middle of the night.
She goes, stay hard. I'll be right back. And then she's like, I'm gonna go look for my cat for a while.
She's a little ADHD. She's a little bit like me. She's like, stay hard, big boy. I'll be right back. And then she's like, where's my cat? Where? Cat's not here. And then she just literally goes out, opens the door, and starts looking for a cat. And my favorite thing is she's really nice at first. She's like, kitty, you're an inside kitty. Where? I told you we're inside kitty. And then she bipolar flips switch. And she's like, where the fuck are you, cat? Did you notice that? She starts yelling, and then
I'm always having to look for you, cat. You're always running away, you stupid piece of shit.
Yes, that's exactly what she does. I'm like, Jesus, now you know why that cat runs away. You're all over the place with your emotions.
Never knows what mommy's gonna do.
Because she was so sweet. Like, you're my favorite kitty. Where are you? And then she's like, you're always running away. Stupid kid. Anyway, then she howls for it. She literally howls like a wolf.
That's how I call my animals.
And then she hears a little rustle in the bushes. And she's like, is that my cat?
She thinks it's her kitty. It's a kitty, but not hers.
It's a Sabertooth, guys. It leaps up in 2.5 seconds, like, boop, grabs her.
Okay, can we just, again, we kind of touched on this in Snow Beast. This is a massive creature. This is a prehistoric saber-tooth cat, okay? And nobody sees or hears it until the moment it is literally eating their face off.
Well, with the saber-tooth cat, I could feel a little bit more. They are agile creatures that once roamed the earth. Sasquatch or Yeti or whatever you want to call him, Snow Beast. I mean, that was a little questionable. But this I could believe a little bit more.
All right,
but again,
I get your logic. I don't agree with it. Just based on size alone. Size alone.
It's a huge
But
prehistoric
I get
beast,
what you're saying.
And you definitely would not confuse it with your cat that you hate, is what you're saying.
I would not think it was my house cat. Absolutely not.
So it leaps up and just grabs this girl real quick. Meanwhile, homie's still in bed, hard as a rock, and he's like, where is this bitch? Where'd she go?
Oh, but don't worry. He lifts up the covers to admire his own dick before he gets up. He lifts it up. He looks. He's like, yeah, that's my dick. It's pretty good. I mean, if I say so myself, completely alone. No one else there, but decides to take a moment.
And then he goes into the living room and he's like, where are you, babe? And I'm like, okay, it's quiet in the middle of the night. This woman left the door open. You cannot hear her. She's not responding to you. And he's still got sex on his mind. He's like, she must be outside. So I'm going to put the baseball cap on my dick, walk outside and surprise her. And we're going to have sex outside. Yeah. Maybe that's what's going through his mind. But the whole time he's calling for her.
He puts his shirt on. He puts his shirt on.
It's cold out there in the Sierra Nevadas.
And then puts the cap on his dick. Oh, so he's Winnie the Poohing it.
Winnie the Poohing it with
bottoms.
Cap on his dick, and he's still calling for her, and she's still not responding, and he's still just in the mood, goes outside, can't find her anywhere. Then he becomes suspicious. Then he's like, oh, this doesn't feel right.
And the cat falls down at that point because he's no longer hard. He gets worried. Immediately goes flaccid, and he's like, something. It's like his detector of like, if something is wrong, his penis will let him know. His penis is immediately like, is that the sound of a penis getting soft?
That's the sound effect we should have. Womp, womp. And his penis does not tell him fast enough because as soon as it goes, womp, he turns around and the saber-tooth fucking slaps him from behind, smashes into the door, and creates a hole in the front door.
Gets him real good.
Gets him real
good. The penis is like, I'm trying to tell you.
You never listen to me when I try. I love B movies because of all the weird sex couple things that happen. I mean, Sand Sharks was by far the best, but Snow Beast was good too because there was a lot of bickering in Snow Beast. These people can't be necessarily likable when they die. So you are always introduced to a couple that is doing the weirdest stuff. Like, not even sex weird, just weird stuff. Like, that's not how humans behave. Regardless, he gets eaten. This Sabertooth is on a mission. This is Death 4.
Yeah, it's like he's taking no prisoners. This is not fun and games.
He's like, you try growing organs. You try growing organs. I gotta get a lot of protein.
He's full of, like, human hearts and livers. That's what he's for.
He's like,
he's just a carrying case.
I gotta get these organs, okay? So yeah, that's Death 4, and now we know that shit is getting real. And I think what happened is this has now gotten out into society because we're not quite sure. Maybe you can clarify. But now Catherine and Anthony, the scientist and the funder, they have now realized that something is wrong.
It's not incredible. There's not an incredible amount of explanation, but what happens is...
Really? Wow. Could have fooled me.
They can't find the driver. The driver is supposed to have delivered the Sabertooth. I don't know if he was driving directly to that cabin they were staying at. I don't know.
He did live visit directly to their door.
That is unclear. But they call him and call him and call him. He's not answering. And then they kind of try to drive up the road. And then they see the truck crash and they're like,
Did you see it?
No, it's gone. Maybe they captured it.
I don't think so. This place would be crawling with reporters if they had.
Then it's on the loose. Hell's bells. What if it kills someone?
Oh, this isn't happening. We've got to find it.
Oh, okay. So that's how they find out. I get it.
Yeah. And it's really funny to me because Anthony, he's like,
My God, did it have a collar on it? If they can trace it back to me, I'm ruined. Why the hell do I allow you to talk me into these things?
Anthony, there were at least 500 steps before we got to the reincarnated Sabertooth.
There were probably several meetings about this, Anthony.
You definitely got CC'd on some emails about this, Anthony.
This wasn't a spur of the moment thing, okay? It takes a lot to clone a Sabertooth. Do not back up at this point.
Do not act like she was just like, hey, I got this really cool idea. Are you in? And he's like texting back, I'm in. Do what you got to do. Over. That's it.
I can't believe you text talked me into this. Ugh. And of course, he literally goes, I'm losing billions every second. And I'm like, you are not losing billions, okay? You are not losing billions, bud. I don't know.
Like,
maybe it costs
every
billions.
second that passes, that's one more medal lost.
They're still so concerned about their medals from the president. Oh, so now they're on a journey. They're like, shit, we got to get this. We got to get to it before the press does. The press is going to be out here looking for this thing that they might think is a lion. Anyway, we got to take matters into our own hands.
So this is just setting up the next part of the movie. What they decide to do is have a meeting with one of their old friends. And he is a professional hunter. And he is offered 50,000 smackaroos to catch this alive. But they lie to it. I mean him. And they're like, the hunter's a human. The hunter's a human
The
being.
hunter, I would like to just side note, he kind of looks like a cat himself.
He is.
Did you notice that?
Got
He
a
kinda has
unique look.
He's got a unique look.
They are like, it's a ancient African lion. That's what they tell him. And he's like,
Even that's a little suspicious.
That sounds interesting.
I have a couple questions. Like, what the fuck are you doing with an ancient African lion? You're a scientist
in
and
the
a
Sierra
billionaire.
Nevadas.
In the Sierra Nevadas. I've got a few questions of my own before I take this job.
An African lion? You've got to be kidding me.
That's right, a male.
What's it doing around here?
Does it really matter? Do you think you can find it?
How much lead time does it have?
About 4 hours. You can catch it easily.
A big cat like that can cover a lot of territory. Could be anywhere by now.
But you can catch it.
Oh, yeah, I can find it.
Then we should get started. I'll get my things.
Oh, no, I do this alone.
Not this time.
Believe me, you'll find it useful to have us around.
You want to come too? You're just going to slow me down.
Then you'll be slowed down.
Maybe I'll just pass.
This is about your fee. I am prepared to be generous.
You know, everything is not always about money, Anthony.
That'd be preposterous. Of course it is. $50,000.
50. What's the catch?
This stays strictly between us. No one else is to know about it.
As soon as Anthony's like $50,000, he's like, no questions asked. I will be there. Take me with you. Over. So then that becomes the two groups. You've got the kid hunter or the kid campers, and then you've got the scientist, the hunter, and the millionaire.
And I would like to say that hunter does not want Catherine the scientist or Anthony to go with him. He's like, you're only going to slow me down. And she's like, so you'll be slowed down, Buster. It's our ancient African lion that we're looking at. And I think she's kind of secretly scared that he's going to kill it.
Yeah, I was going to say she has her own motives because she wants to capture it alive and he wants to kill it because it's already wreaked so much havoc.
They could have just said it hasn't wreaked any havoc yet.
Well, she does.
They could have just been like, nothing happened. This is a peaceful animal. No one's seen it. Just tranquilize it. Bring it back.
She does underplay it because they haven't come across any of the havoc yet. So she does definitely underplay it because they don't find any of the stuff until they go on the journey together.
But yes, now we've got our two groups, the scientist and the hunter, and the weird teens with the not so much teens that are learning how to be teen helpers. Well, you know what? Let's just get to the next chapter.
So we're going to join back with our friends, the kid campers that are all out without any adult supervision, just wandering the mountains.
Well, there are kind of two adults, but it's very strange. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, but those two adults are busy bickering with each other because they used to be in love and now they just are fight. So they're bickering. They don't notice that Leon's dicking around on the edge of a cliff.
Oh,
no
Leon,
one's doing
you
a great
jokester.
job of training anybody here.
I know. Jesus.
It's a real shit show. But anyway, he falls off the cliff. Everyone has to have a group effort to save him. It's real weird. It's like a body chain.
I would like to say he falls off the cliff. We're still not sure if the Sabertooth scared him and he fell, or if he fell and then he saw the Sabertooth. It's really weird. He literally is dicking around at the edge of the cliff. he slips, falls, and then it shows a little baby close up of a cat's mouth, like like a house cat, and it's like, meow. And so you're like, oh,
But they add a real big growl.
yeah, they add a real big growl. It's like a house cat with 2 little toothpicks glued to it. So you know it's a Sabertooth, and you're like, okay, did the Sabertooth growl at him and scare him? There's no real what do you call it, cohesiveness in that scene of like what caused what to happen. But yes, regardless,
there's no clarity, but all that scene serves to do is to say that, okay, someone saw and heard the Sabertooth in this group, but there's no real clarity.
And it may or may not have caused that person to fall off a cliff.
May or may not have caused some damage or to frighten someone.
We don't know.
So anyway, they decide to set up camp in this place, right? So all these kids are sitting around in a circle at night. You guys, this is killing me.
This is
Keep
the worst.
in mind,
it's so awkward.
They have taken the tiniest backpacks. If I have not made that clear, they have taken
the tiniest
backpacks.
Little fanny packs.
On a camping expedition in the Sierra Nevadas.
Mm-hmm.
And they are drinking tequila out of a giant glass bottle. Like, when you go camping, especially backpacking, you have got to use every ounce of space. You are not
for tequila.
Giant
Use every ounce of space you have for tequila.
Bottles of tequila.
At least put it in a Camelback. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Not a one. They're drinking out of giant water bottles. Not a one person has a Camelback. This whole thing. How did they get their tents in there? It doesn't make any sense. They have 5,000 changes of clothes.
20 different rolls of toilet paper because Leon's real concerned about using the bathroom.
A lot of toilet paper.
And again, it's like when you're watching this, we've said it before, but it's very clear that it is 3 young. They've got to be. I thought they were high schoolers. Like the whole time, I thought they were the kids that were being helped. Okay, they looked like 16, 17 to me. And then you have the 2 adults, which is
that's what it seems
Lost Man and Hot Blonde, Pam Anderson blonde
Trent
hair.
and Casey.
Trent and Casey. I mean, Trent and Casey look like they're in their late 20s, and these 3 others look like for sure in their teens. So the whole thing is weird because they're sitting around this campfire drinking this tequila. Then
with these children,
what
they're sharing it with the children,
which again seems like not something you want to do during a training exercise in the Sierra Nevadas. That's just negligence. You were asking for someone to get lost. Or
I mean, you just saw what you think is a vicious beast, and you want to be inebriated in the woods?
You're like, yeah, kids, go out and have a good time. Drink that tequila. Also, aside from the Sabertooth, you're in prime Sasquatch country. You could get snatched by a Satch at any minute.
And they have a backpack full of tequila and a backpack full of candy. That's their supplies.
And I love how Casey, is that the girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
She gets mad. She's like, bears will be so attracted to this. They're going to eat this in a second. And I'm like, that's what you're mad about? You're mad about the candy when he's pulling out a handle of tequila and they're all getting wasted?
He's drinking with teenagers and you're mad about the candy. Okay, cool.
So if that's not cringy enough, drinking with teenagers, then they decide to play Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare. Okay, adults playing Truth or Dare with children they are training and drinking with. Can you imagine the most inappropriate question Trent could ask Lola?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Hey, you ever been with a woman? Well, actually, they start out soft. It's like Truth or Dare, truth. And it's like, have you ever been arrested? Ha ha ha, funny. And then it goes to Trent and he's so awkward.
You ever slept with a girl?
Lola.
Well, it got hard real fast.
Lola. I know. It went from 0 to 60. Oh, that was an intense progression. That took off quickly. He's like, Lola, you ever been with a woman? You are an adult man asking a teenage girl if she's had sex with a woman in the perviest way. You're grossing me out.
It's so gross. It's so gross.
And what does Casey do? She doesn't say, like, you guys, come on, this is not appropriate.
This is not appropriate.
You know what? I'm going to go to bed. I'm mad.
She just gets jealous.
It's like, come on, Casey, grow a backbone.
Your ex-boyfriend is flirting with a child right now.
We're all getting drunk around a campfire after seeing a beast, and you're asking sex questions to teenagers. Like, maybe this isn't appropriate. Pull him aside. Say something. Hey, bud, everything okay?
It feels like maybe we're crossing some lines here. I mean, the tequila was getting close, but the whole sex with the other women maybe is a no-go?
We learned in our handbook for how to train future trainees of trainers, we learned in our handbook, you don't do this. You don't drink with them. You don't ask them sex questions. This is an HR nightmare.
It's also something that I would never... The question Trent asks is a question lots of men want to ask women because they think it's sexy. But guys, that's never flirting and it's never appropriate. Just Just no, especially when it's a child, but just in general also, no, just don't. So they go into the woods because they're going to go, I guess.
Wait, Trent and Lola, who have had this weird sexual chemistry.
Trent
They're the
and
ones
Lola.
that are going in the woods.
Everybody else is like, this is getting awkward. We're going to go to bed. Obviously, they've got to work something out amongst themselves. So they go to the woods and it's completely dark. They don't take a flashlight.
Nope.
They don't
need
take a
to.
blanket.
You just need that
They don't-
you just need that Sierra Nevada moon. That's all you need. And a bottle of tequila.
She takes her shirt off and goes, catch me if you can, and then just runs into the dark of the Sierra Nevadas with not a shred of light so he can go find her.
Is that sexy? I don't get how that is in any way sexy. She literally does it so quickly too.
Sexy.
Catch me if you can, and then she just takes off into the woods, and it's like, Lola, come on, I don't want to do that.
Well, she's a child. She's playing hide and go seek. What do you expect?
Stop it. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's just bizarre. It's like, again, even adults, teenager, whatever you are, you don't act like this.
So imagine what happens when Lola's just running topless through the forest. She also sees and hears the Sabertooth again. I mean, Trent is in the vicinity, right? In the vicinity. Does not hear or see this Sabertooth. She's flipping out. She's screaming. She's crying. He's like being so stupid. He's like, come on. You do not need to be this scared. Animals are more afraid of you than you are of them. I've done this 5,000 times. Trust
even
me,
if
you're
I was
fine.
Even if there was no Sabertooth, I'd be really scared to be by myself in the forest in the Sierra Nevadas at night. Like, I would just be scared in general. Like, I would just be like, yeah, it's pretty freaky out here. Yeah, we're completely
It's pitch
alone
black and
with a
we
bottle of
don't have
tequila. And we have no,
we don't have a flashlight.
We don't have flashlights or any way to survive if we got lost. So yeah, it is pretty scary, Lola. But it's like, if there's one thing Sabertooths don't like, it's nudity. They do not like immodesty. That's why
Absolutely
That's why he was
not.
like, Lola, you put that shirt back on.
Well, and if you think about it, he also attacked the sex couple. So he definitely already has.
He's a very prude. Very prudish.
I mean,
Sabertooth.
he came from ancient times, though.
Ancient times, it was different.
They kept all covered up in the ancient times.
You're right. He's just not used to all these titties flapping around all over the place. Trent is kind of a dick. He's just like, Lola, yeah, get real.
Yeah, and you can tell he's just like, I was just trying to make out with you. Let's take our mind off the whatever you saw in the woods. Like, let's get back with me. I'm still here. Let's make out. Not a big deal. But she runs back to camp. She's crying to Casey. And Casey's like, what's going on? And she's like, I saw something. And Jason pops his head out of the tent and he's like, ugh, just go back to bed. It's just chick drama. I'm like, why is everybody being so dismissive of Lola? She's obviously terrified. She's not just being a drama queen.
And again, it's 5 of you out in the Sierra Nevadas by yourself in the dark with nothing to survive if she did see something or if she didn't. Like, be a little bit like, okay, well, we'll be on edge. We'll have someone look around.
Let's
like,
have a game plan. Yeah, for sure.
It's always good to ignore that. If I panicked and freaked out and you guys were just like, Colin, oh, you. Oh, stop. Like when we went backpacking, could you imagine if I just freaked out in the middle of the night and you guys are like, oh, Colin, you didn't see anything, Buster.
I said, sing a song, say a prayer, think a happy thought.
You just dismiss me.
That's what our mom used to say when we would wake up with bad dreams because she didn't like waking up at night with us. And so you would go into her room and you'd be like, I had a bad dream. And she would still be asleep and saying, sing a prayer, sing a song, say a prayer, think a happy thought. And that was how she dealt with it.
Okay, well, thanks, it's not working.
So then the real trick was you had to go to the other side of the bed. If that was mom's side of the bed. But if you went to the other side of the bed, you knew you were good because Dad would let you in. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I just dealt with it in my bed. I just dealt with the terrors in my bed and just tried to get through it. So we're going to leave those panicked nuggets in the woods with their tequila and their dismissiveness. And we're going to get back to our other group of Catherine, Anthony, and the assistant. And they are also camping in the woods. And they are determined to find... Oh, and we have one more hunter. He has now gathered them. So there's 4. And they're camping in the woods in the Sierra Nevadas. And the next morning, they come across a cabin, which is the sex couple cabin. And instantly, they're like, oh, there's blood all over this door and a big old hole. And there's a mutilated body inside. And they're like, dude, Catherine, call the freaking police. And she's like, okay, I will. She takes the cell phone. And she's like, oh, you thought I'm going to call the police? No way, Busters. This is my Sabertooth. And she chucks the phone into the forest, right? Because she does not want anybody to get involved. She just wants to catch this thing. But who does she find?
Well,
when
she's
she throws
throwing the phone.
Oh, yeah. Remember the girl who went out to go find her cat? Yeah, she's still alive. Granted, she's been badly, badly injured. She's still alive, and she reaches out from under a bush, all bloody and scarred, and she grabs Catherine's foot, and she's like, help me. And Catherine kicks her in the face and goes, ew.
Ew.
and then runs back to the house, kind of disheveled, and just leaves this girl. And I've got a couple questions because I'm like, ew. I'm like, dude, she is scarred up. At least don't kick her.
Her face is ripped off.
Don't kick her. Just pull your foot away. Just say ew and pull your foot away. Don't kick her in the fucking face. She's scarred up. She's under a bush. She's like literally dying for help. That girl is determined. You know that was a rough night for her.
It was a very rough night.
I love how the Sabertooth is just like, I'll be back for you.
I know. As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, like, what was the logic of the Sabertooth? Because he gets the woman down, but then completely redirects and then mangles the man. So he must have just forgotten.
He's got a little ADD too. He just forgot that she was at the bushes. He just kills the man, mangles him, and he's like, okay.
Where did that lady go? I could have sworn I just clawed her face off.
And she's just so sad in the bushes. Could you imagine all night just like, what the hell just happened? Did I get mauled by a Sabertooth? What the hell?
Was that my house cat? 'Cause the last thing I remember was...
She doesn't have any recollection of what happened. She's like, help me, I don't know what happened. Catherine just made it so much worse by kicking her in the face. I mean, at that point, you're leaving.
Doesn't even put her out of her misery. Doesn't even kill her so that she can just be dead.
Catherine, it turns into a really dramatic movie. Catherine picks up a rock and like goes through this internal monologue and then bashes it over her head to put her out of her misery. No, she just leaves her under that bush. And I would think the other people would hear her too. Like, oh, does anyone hear that? Does anyone hear that shrill? That shrill, help me. Does anyone hear that?
Catherine's like, I don't know. I think you guys are a little tired, a little punch drunk.
Maybe it's the cell phone ringing. That sounds really weird. So yeah, they leave her and they go back. And
doesn't it seem too like Catherine, if she's so smart, harvesting organs she's cloning, why wouldn't you just hide the cell phone and be like, well, I actually might need this later. So what if I just put it at the bottom of my backpack and pretend like I don't know where it is?
Nope. It is go big or go home with Catherine. She's like, if this saber-toothed tiger's not living, none of us are. No one's getting help at this point.
The decision to actually throw it when no one's looking at her, she could have easily been like, I don't know, I dropped it, it's gone. But no. Actually chucks
Not the smartest decision. So they do that.
She also started organ cloning with the Sabertooth. So
yeah, we don't know where Catherine's mind's at.
Give Catherine.
So they're like, did you call him? And she's like, yeah, I guess. And so they're like, this Sabertooth is killed. But keep in mind, this is the only body that they've seen so far, the hunter. So he's like, okay, the Sabertooth's only killed one person. Little does he know there's a dead shrill woman in the bushes. The driver's been killed and the janitor's been killed. So he's like, okay, as long as he's kind of in this thing now, like, we've got to kill this thing. And she's like, do not freaking kill it, tranquilize it. I'm paying you to tranquilize it. And there's kind of a fight, but you can see that he's kind of like, it's already mangled this body and maybe more. Gotta kill it.
It's out for blood. Yeah.
So later that night, they're camping. Anthony, the scientist, and Catherine and the hunter. And
Anthony also only wears his millionaire clothing while they are on this camping expedition. Only the nicest button-ups and trousers and belts.
The rest of the time he was just a sweaty mess, and now he's all dressed up to go camping. No one has any concept of what camping is in the Sierra Nevadas.
Absolutely none.
And Catherine has not changed her outfit this entire movie. She has been in a leather jacket and a black turtleneck this whole time.
She's also been wearing her very professional clothing, and it looks so uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable. So regardless, they're camping, and we have a little freak out from the assistant scientist, and she just starts... Kara is her name, but don't learn her name too fast, because as Kara's... Just listen to what Kara has to say about a Sabertooth real quick.
This is not right. I'm telling him.
You'll do no such thing.
He doesn't know what he's up against.
He's a big boy.
He's in danger. It's not like a lion or tiger.
I know what it's like.
Its canines are like two machetes. They can rip you in half. Their jaws are killing machines. They can open 120 degrees. It can fit a human head in its mouth and crush it.
You're overreacting.
Oh, damn it, Catherine. It used to kill mammoths twice the size of an elephant. It could be right behind me. I wouldn't even know it.
So immediately after that speech where we learn a little bit about Sabertooths, guess what happens to Kara?
She gets snagged by that
She should have not been... SK?
ST.
Oh, I thought you said SK. I was like trying to think like Saber. What's the K?
Canoe.
She gets real quick mauled by that. I mean, she should have been just listening to what she was saying. Spoke a little bit quieter and been like, actually, now that I'm saying that.
Attracted it.
Now that I'm saying that, it could be right behind me. It snatches her up real quick, drags her away, and this happens.
And she's being nerdy even as she's being dragged away by this Sabertooth. She's like, Catherine, it's got me. Catherine.
Catherine, it's got its jaws on me. They are 180 degrees on my ankle. It's chewing on my esophagus, Catherine. Catherine, please do something. Call the emergency services. Where's that cell phone we gave you?
Cell phone.
Catherine, come on. I'm being triggered. Catherine, she's still yelling as she's being mauled. Catherine, I'm in the cave now. It appears to be very dark.
Catherine, I think it's traveling north. Could you just please track me? Track me.
Catherine,
We're going as the crow flies.
Put on your science tracker. Catherine, you did pack those, don't you? I told you to pack those, Catherine. She's nerd till the very end, still with her glasses on. Oh, Kara. You sweet
Kara, may
baby
you rest in
angel.
peace.
May you rest in... She's still in the cave, just like, I told you about the Sabertooth. And this happens, like, again, right in front of Catherine, and she's like, oh, shit, this is another kill for this Sabertooth. Things are getting out of hand. You can see it in her face. She's like, oh, Buster. Things are... If Kara's gone, it could get anyone.
It's getting rough. But she doesn't... I mean, she's a badass. Even if for a moment she panics because Kara's being eaten in front of her eyes, she literally says to the guys, they're like, Kara's being dead does not change anything. I'm going to go to bed. I'm not even... And they're like, how can you sleep? And she's like, perfectly soundly. Thank you very much. I will see you both in the morning. Like,
with Kara in the background. Excuse me, guys. I'm still out here.
We're going to go to sleep because
I'm in great
actually
pain.
still being eaten.
This is very painful. Someone at least give me meds. Make it easier. Just, like,
Catherine
listening.
puts in earplugs.
She's all passing out silicone earplugs the whole night. Kara's just screaming. Excuse me. It appears to be moving north. It's a
I think both my legs are gone now. Pretty sure it's just a torso left.
Looks like I bit my femur or my tibia on my fibula. Okay, we went out too long with that. Okay, so she knows that things are getting crazy, and yeah, she's
trying to act like a badass because she just does not care who dies or who lives as long as that Sabertooth ends up.
She's got to get those organs made ASAP. She's got a job and she needs to do it. All right, so we're gonna leave Kara to scream herself to death at night, being munched by that Sabertooth,
and
Catherine
scream Catherine to sleep.
And scream Catherine to sleep as she puts in her earplugs. And we're going to go to the next morning, and we're going to go with our teen campers, our teen and adult campers, that fun group of awkwardness, and let's check in with them.
Yeah, they're debating about whether or not they should just pack it up and go home and call it a day because of what happened the night before with Lola. And Lola, for some reason, decides that she's got to prove her strength to everybody. So she's like, no. We're definitely staying. We're not turning behind because of me. Like, they've all successfully gaslit her into
Lola,
it wasn't that big of a deal. Why were you scared?
A giant cat. You saw a saber-tooth tiger. You should be the one that wants to leave the most. You do not need to prove yourself at this point, girl. You saw what you saw.
At this point, she's talking herself out of what she saw.
Have faith in yourself. You saw a giant saber-tooth.
But they all decide to stay for whatever reason. And so they kind of set up camp. I guess it's roughly the same place. They really didn't make it very far. But they go to explore and they find a cave. And Jason is being a nerd. He's like, I don't want to go in there. It's got to get Ebola. And Casey's like, Jason, you're being a baby. We're in California, not Africa. It's perfectly safe. And as soon as Leon steps in the cave, she's like, be careful. There's snakes in there. So it's
safe in different ways.
No, you're not going to get Ebola in the cave. You may get bit by a rattlesnake in the cave. So
this is where the movie takes a weird turn because Leon and Casey do go into this cave and they find like ancient cave paintings. And I think it's supposed to be like cavemen that were painting about Sabertooth. There might need to be some connection. There's really it's just they throw it in there. And also there's this weird Chinese flute music in the background. So you don't really sure what. Did you notice that the whole movie is a Chinese flute?
Yes, I thought I was losing my mind because I'm like, this sounds like this really
it's full
weird
China,
like music from a different movie.
Yes, I think what they were trying to do was do like a Native American flute, but they just didn't. They just looked up generic flute music, and it's for sure Eastern flute. You guys know the difference. It's very beautiful, but it is from a different movie.
You're
it is
totally
pure
right.
Memoirs of a Geisha. So they're in this cave, just like he brings a torch. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, guys, he tears up what tiny little amount of clothes he has and lights a stick on fire to make a torch because he wants to be like Indiana Jones. So still no flashlights in sight, and they take a
Leon's
torch
the only one
into
that came
an
prepared
enclosed
to
cave. They're defiling these ancient Native American petroglyphs with their smoke and fire and touching them with their hands. And then, meanwhile, Trent is still trying to get Lola laid. So he takes her to an overlook. They gasp at the beauty. Everyone's super happy, and because the day went fairly well, they're like, yeah, I guess it's not as bad as we thought. But right before bed, Jason, who, as you will remember, at the very beginning of the movie, was inquiring about the facilities, needs to poop. And Leon's like, are you sure you need to poop right now? It's dark. And
No
he's
one ever
like,
needs to poop camping. You get all blocked up. Travel camping. I mean, travel bathrooming. You can't do it.
you just hold it, and then when you get back, you let it all out. Is that your method?
I guess.
So Jason's like, I can't hold it. I don't know about you, but you cannot hold poop. When you gotta go, you gotta go. So what do you think happens to Jason pooping in the dark in
because
the woods?
he's a nerd and he has glasses on, obviously, and his asthma. He, of course, trips over a rock because everyone always trips and falls. And he goes to clean off his glass. Well, his glasses fall off, and he goes to put them on. And as soon as he puts them on, he sees a little cat face. Meow. It literally is a house cat, but it's real close up, so you think it's a Sabertooth. And that Sabertooth just munches him to death. But guess who decides to hear these screams? Guess who decides to react to these screams and not Kara's screams? Catherine and Anthony and the hunter. They're like, who is this guy screaming? And this is when, in the movie, they kind of meet up. They're two groups of people.
So they're like, if there's... You know what? Actually, this makes no fucking sense now that I think about it. Because Kara was literally dragged away in front of Catherine. Nobody bats an eye. She's like, it doesn't make a bit of difference that Kara's dead. But then when they hear Jason screaming, they're like, it feels like maybe there's a Sabertooth out. Like,
we should go help this guy.
Yeah, I guess it just I did not realize till this moment that it was like not a deadly Sabertooth after the first 3 people were killed. But now it's a deadly Sabertooth because there's some dude screaming in the woods.
Yeah, and you think that the hunter, he's supposed to be like the moral compass in this. Like, he didn't do a damn thing when Kara got drug away. He just watched Catherine put in her headphones, and he was like, this is kind of brutal, but I guess this is the cat hunting world. Guess I am being introduced to a world I do not want to know much about. But he totally just is like, okay, well, Kara's literally screaming in the back for help. And he's like, well, nothing I can do at this point. You think he'd be like, oh, maybe I'll get my gun and go tranquilize it because we know where it is because Kara's giving its location.
Right.
1 drag away at a time. 32 degrees north to the latitude of 1. So, like, he knows where it is. Why couldn't he just gone out and
pinged her GPS, and they're tracking it every step of the way. They're like, oh, I guess we've tracked it. We know where it is now. We're hearing these screams. And I'm like, did you not track it when Kara's dead body was being dragged away from you? Like, I guess I didn't put 2 and 2 together until just now.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. She was a wasted character. No one cared about her.
Could have easily found it. Poor Kara.
Poor Kara. So yes, they all kind of meet up and it's like, what are you guys doing out here? And they're kind of like, well, our friend might have died from a thing and she thought she saw a cat. And they're like, what did you see? And they're kind of just figuring out the information from each other. And they come to understand that the Sabertooth is in the area. They've all seen it. They need to get to the bottom of this.
Right. They are definitely, there's an issue at hand.
So we're coming to the climax of this very, very intense movie. This Sabertooth is out for blood. He's already killed so many people, but we've basically got our 2 groups together. And Catherine is still gung-ho about not having this Sabertooth die. This is her organ donating baby. And
clearly.
So it's already gotten Jason's dead, the nerd. He's gone. They all come together and they're like, well, what should we do? And guess who it gets? Guess who it gets first? It gets Lola.
Poor Lola.
Poor Lola.
She's like, I was right.
She gets eaten on the top of a cliff after being serenaded by Trent. And the best part is Trent goes back and he's like, you guys, yeah, turns out Lola was right. She did see a Sabertooth, turns out, because that Sabertooth ate her. I watched it.
He's like, not scared, not screaming, not crying, nothing. Just like, I was wrong.
You guys. But remember that night that I was acting super chill and telling Lola to calm the fuck down? She shouldn't have been. That's my bad. My bad. Let's just keep going on the trip.
Left that date, but you know what? It's on me. I'll be more aware next time.
So we're like, oh shit, this Sabertooth is out for so much blood. Now it's gotten 2 of the 3 teenage kids. Or there's 4 actually. We keep forgetting about. No, it's 3. It's 3.
There's Leon.
Yeah,
Lola,
that's what I'm saying. And Jason.
And then the 2 older ones.
Casey and Trent. I was thinking there was one more. Trent. Sorry, I don't want to confuse you at the very end. So it starts picking people off one by one. So Catherine is still like, no, Hunter, do not kill this thing. This is my dream. Anthony, on the other hand, is like, this is getting really intense. I've got a couple plans of my own. So I think
actually we should maybe think of another way to do this. And she tries to lure him back in. She's like, She's like, Anthony, listen, I know people are dying, but like, listen, you're going to be so rich and powerful that even presidents of countries are going to be carrying your golf clubs. Think of all the power. And he's like, oh, okay. So
Is that Catherine's idea of power?
I know.
That's her ultimate idea of power is like, they're going to carry your golf clubs, buddy. It's going to be
and
real
medals. Don't forget
sweet.
the medals.
Don't forget all the medals we're going to be bathing in. Yeah, Catherine, you need to get. Also, I would just like to state that this is supposed to be the Sierra Nevadas, but this whole ending part of the movie is filmed in a desert in New Mexico. There are no pine trees. It's desert. Whatever. Side note. So,
at this moment, no, I was just gonna say she talks him into it at the last second.
I was gonna say she totally gets him. He's like,
you know what? I would like to have presidents carry my golf clubs. Now that you mention it, that would be amazing. And so, right after she talks him into it, what do you think happens?
He goes to set up these random bear traps that are
steel bear traps.
Bear traps that I guess he found in the woods. Again,
that
this movie doesn't
took in his tiny little backpack, but yeah, whatever.
He found him in Lola's backpack. He's like, what was this girl preparing for? So he takes out these metal traps. Poor Anthony, though. He's a businessman. He doesn't know how to survive. It snaps on his foot. He's stuck. Easy target for Sabertooth. Munches him right up. So then Hunter and Catherine come upon Anthony's torn apart body, just his baby little foot that's been... When Sabertooths attack, they eat your flesh like a chicken bone. They just like scrape it off, so just your bones are left.
Yep, it's like eating a hot wing.
Hot wing. And then Catherine's like, you know what? I take that back. I take the metal bathing back. I take the President Golf Club back. Maybe this is getting a little out of control. Maybe we need to hunt this down and kill it.
Yeah, she's taking the same emotional approach or tenor as Trent when Lola gets eaten. Like, okay, now that I'm seeing this unravel in front of my eyes, maybe we should scale it back and just get the fuck out of here.
The guy who's funding this whole thing, I think it's time to call it quits. So now they all come together and they're trying to figure it out. And Hunter's got a plan, all right? He's
all, at this point, there's Casey, Trent, and Leon, and the Hunter and Catherine. So there's 5 people left.
Yeah, and the Hunter's like, everybody get to high ground. It knows your scent. It's been tracking you for nights. It's been killing all of you slowly. Get to high grounds. I'm going to get it with my trank gun. Well, at this point, maybe his real gun. I think he's still trying to trank it, but regardless, he's going to get it. So they all go up to
at this point, he wants to kill it. He's like, I'm done with this trank bullshit. I want to kill it. And then Catherine goes, okay, then you're fired. And he's offended. He's like, how dare you fire me? Like, as if she has any power in the woods. He has all the weapons. He can do whatever the fuck
he just stops and leaves. He's like, okay, well, are you going to give me severance? What about my 2 weeks, huh? What should I get for that, huh?
So
also, Hunter is dressed full. He's dressed... This is the Sierra Nevadas. He is dressed full lucky. What is it? Clever girl.
Clever girl
from Jurassic Park. He's got like a
African safari.
Yes, he's full got leather like chaps on. It's just really he's really taking this very seriously. He's got a ammo belt around for like a machine gun, but he does not have a machine gun.
So while he and Catherine are fighting, the last of the 3 kids try to take shelter in like an abandoned mine shaft, and Leon decides that this is his moment to shine, and so he grabs 2 like Japanese fighting swords, which also, where did he put them and why did he bring them?
Next to the bottle of tequila.
None of those questions. Next to the bottle of tequila. And so he fights the Sabertooth for like 20 full seconds, and the Sabertooth just pins him up against the wall. Poof. And he's like, yeah, I guess I thought that's how this was going to end.
What did you think was going to happen when you tried to fight an ancient prehistoric giant mammal with giant teeth? Yeah, that Sabertooth just makes he tries to punch it, but he can't. So Leon's gone. Oh, it's just a ticking. Now we've only got 4 people left. Hunter, Catherine, Casey, and Trent.
Mm-hmm. And so at this point, he tries to use them kind of as like bait. So if the Sabertooth is hunting them, then he can hide and shoot the Sabertooth kind of off to the side. That doesn't work. He comes up with this great plan, and then he misses the shot. Oh, God. I'm like, you paid this guy $50,000, and he can't
He's under a lot of stress. He's watching people get picked off one by one by this Sabertooth tiger.
At this point, the guns have been destroyed. He misses the shot anyway. So the next best thing is to put a tranquilizing dart on the end of a stick, dangle Casey through the roof of the ceiling while she tries to poke it.
Well, we say ceiling because, again, we didn't make this very clear. They ran to like an old mine shaft, as one does in the middle of the Sierra Nevadas. There's tons of mine shafts just lying around everywhere. And so she's kind of, they all go into the mine shaft and he's lowering her down by her ankles with a trank gun on the end of a stick, and she's going to poke it. You're going to get a little poke.
She's just going to poke it. So she does poke it. But this is like a Snow Beast revisited problem because they don't know how much tranquilizer a Sabertooth needs.
Nope.
So it kind of drags for about 2 seconds and then it's back for more. It is so pissed off. It's like, what did you think this trank poke was going to do?
On a dart on the end of a stick is going to get me.
Catherine at this point is trying to kind of hold on to the hunter. Now she's going to be his best friend because he's her only chance for survival. She's like, Hunter, oh my God. And he
Did I say you were fired?
Her.
I meant you were fiery. I meant you were a fiery soul. You're not fired.
I meant that you have so much passion. Can you please save me? And he full on punches her in the mouth. Cannot deal with her bullshit right now, which inevitably leads to the most dramatic and justice-filled karmic moment, which is the Sabertooth eats Catherine right there. Boom. She's
not
dead.
Not going to be swimming in medals. Not going to have no presidents carrying your golf clubs, Catherine.
So
You're
the
dead.
hunter's first instinct is to chuck a stick at it. It bounces right off the side of the
best.
Sabertooth.
He's going for anything he can get at this point. He's like throwing rocks, sticks. He's just trying to get this Sabertooth.
At the last second, he's holding like a big kind of sharp stick and the Sabertooth jumps to get him, to land on him. And he holds the stick up.
Classic.
The Sabertooth is
impaled,
skewered like a kebab, like a Sabertooth kebab. And okay, so the Sabertooth is dead and Hunter's like, oh God, what a relief. It's finally dead. And he looks over and Trent and Casey are just making out.
Okay.
Just making out.
Couple of things. Number one, everyone knows that when you impale something, it doesn't just instantly die. That cat is going to be wrangling around on top of you, clawing and biting you until it gets you. You don't just impale something and it's like, whoop, dead. Whoop, whoop, dead. Okay, they just go limp. And even if it went limp, it's just going to crush the hunter. Okay. That's okay. That's fact number one.
Immediately. You can't just like use its momentum to catapult it behind you, which is what he does. Like
right?
That 1,000 pounds of cat just squishes the hunter immediately.
Yeah, just kill
immediately.
It. But this thing here nor there. My main concern is that yes, the hunter was noble. He deserves to get out. Casey, she was great. Granted, she didn't speak up at the most awkward truth or dare ever. I get it. She was a little awkward. But Trent does not deserve to live. He's
Leon fought that Sabertooth with swords.
Fought with swords. Trent didn't do anything. All Trent did was hit on a teenage girl and then get her killed.
Yes,
not believe a thing she said, watch her die, and then be like, yeah, she was right. I'm an
criticized Casey every step of the way.
Yeah,
so
he does not deserve to live. I don't know why he lived. Anyway, that's my biggest problem. They all limp away, all happy, go lucky. No one's gonna I wonder what's gonna happen when someone comes across a Sabertooth skeleton in the middle of the Sierra Nevadas.
It kind of hints kind of like the Snow Beast situation. It kind of hints that they get out, but the Sabertooth survived.
I hope it does.
It's kind of subtle, but
I hope there's a Sabertooth too.
That's the gist. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense all the way around. But you know what? It was still amazing. It was still worth watching. And I'm glad I spent an hour and a half of my life on it.
It was so good. I loved it. I loved this one particularly, not so much, again, because of Sabertooth, but just the very awkward writing in between characters. This sci-fi movie had the most awkward dialogue, I guess you could say, back and forth. Sometimes it excelled very quickly, went from 0 to 60 real quick, like the truth or dare situation. And then it's just nobody, it's like no one here hears each other. They just talk at each other, you know? So many things could have been avoided. My biggest sadness in this movie was Kara. She didn't deserve to die. They should have let Kara live and Trent. She was just
that's so true.
I know. They should have had Trent been carried away and she should have lived. She should come out of the very end.
She was noble. Trent should have paid the ultimate price for not believing Lola and mansplaining to her how the wilderness works and then being wrong the whole time. That would have been true justice. And Kara and Casey surviving and then them having lesbian sex.
Well, maybe Kara's still alive. If that blonde girl that died at the beginning under those bushes got kicked in the face, if she survived all night, I bet Kara survived. I'm hoping for it.
Maybe. Let's all be praying.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode. We hope that you've liked all these amazing bee creature movies we're doing because we love them.
And you know what?
All of them.
We have really good news. We think that we have access to Sabertooth. Got Sabertooth on the brain. That we have access to Megalodon.
The one that started it all. And we're very excited. We're trying to figure out the right time to bring it to you guys, but it's a big one.
Anytime is the right time for Megalodon.
All right, you guys, if you enjoyed listening, check out our Instagram. we're always real bad at it, but sometimes we'll be good. Go to Apple and just like us and rate us. It really helps. And reach out.
All
with
of
any
our reviews
suggestions.
are 5 stars so far. We have like 30 or something like that. They're all 5 stars. People love us. We just need more people to write.
People love us so much.
That's all.
They just really love us.
All I'm saying is
Give us 5 stars.
you know what I mean. We do good work.
Okay, until next time. Bye.
Bye. Hunter.
So, yes, I forgot where I was going.
Did you get
with
just
this.
sidetracked by his
so
outfit?
distracted. I was trying. It's just the most ridiculous outfit, but it looks good.